Life as a professional musician is not without its challenges. There's long hours away from home on the road, there's lots of practice time and a whole ton of equipment that's needed. So if you're a musician wanting to build a tiny house on wheels to accommodate this very unique lifestyle, how do you do that? Today we've traveled to Arkansas to find out. Hi Asha.
How are you? Good to see you.
Lovely to see you.
Thanks for coming by.
It is absolutely my pleasure. Oh my gosh, this home is incredible.
Thank you.
It's also really unusual what you've done here with the L shape and the tiny house on foundations as well as the tiny house on wheels part
Yeah,
here.
it's a little bit different than most tiny houses you see. I originally was just going to have the one on the foundation, and then it kind of just kept going, and I was like, actually, maybe we'll have like a little music trailer too. And the idea was that I could take the trailer on the road being a musician, although I haven't actually moved it yet.
But how cool that you can do that, because you are a professional violinist, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about your work?
So I play electric violin for a group called the Trans Siberian Orchestra, play a lot of Christmas shows, play in arenas around the US, and being a musician, I am on the road a lot, and I'm so used to living out of suitcases, and for the last, I would say 10 years, I have literally had my stuff in storage or in people's houses, and I just have never felt like I really had a home. And I was finally ready to have a place that I could actually call home. So I was like, well, what about a tiny house? Because it's like, I don't want something big because I'm not around that much, but I wanted something manageable that didn't need a lot of upkeep. So this was sort of the perfect option.
And the location is really interesting to me as well, because normally I'm used to seeing tiny houses on wheels that are parked in backyards and that sort of thing. But here you are in a suburban area, very, very close to the street as well.
Yeah.
Tell me about the section and how it ended up here.
So my brother had land in a bunch of different places around Fayetteville, and I kind of went driving with him one day, and I was like, this is the place I want. It's right on the corner. It's like kind of a cool area. I was like, this is the one I want.
And it really looks perfect here, and I love the way that you've situated these homes to have this really lovely outdoor area between them as well.
I love the porch area because it actually, having a small house, there's only limited space, but this adds a whole new dimension to it. And the porch, I think, is actually more square feet than the house is. So when I was first designing the tiny house, I really wanted a large porch because the idea was that I could have concerts on the porch and sort of bring the community together. And a lot of people were saying, you should have the porch in the back for privacy. And I absolutely did not want that. The whole idea of the porch was to sort of bring people together and, you know, have people come up and like wave. And so that's what it's really done. It really has served a huge purpose by, number one, being able to have concerts there. And number two, just making it sort of welcoming. Where people want to stop by and say hi.
But the house as well, this actually does look quite sizable for a tiny house. What are the dimensions?
So this part, the main house is on a foundation. This is 10 by 40, so it's 400 square feet. And this is 8 by 20, so 160 square feet. So I guess it's actually not necessarily tiny. It's like kind of a gigantic tiny house, mansion.
It certainly feels like a tiny mansion, it does. The material choices on this home are just beautiful. Can you tell me a bit about the design decisions on the outside?
So I did a lot of research when I first started looking at tiny houses, and I was online constantly looking at every different kind of material I could use. I love the corrugated aluminum. I love the black corrugated aluminum. And then the wood, we ended up getting this thing called Abaco wood, which is this beautiful like redwood you can see, but I love the result of it.
It definitely has a very sharp, very modern feeling, doesn't it?
Yeah, I wanted like kind of, yeah, modern, contemporary, like sleek feel.
Yeah, well, you've definitely achieved that on the outside, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you've done on the inside.
Yeah, come on in.
Thank you.
Okay, here it is.
Wow, this place is insane.
Thank you.
This is so cool. The first thing is, walking in, you're just absolutely hit by the space. It feels so open.
Yeah, that was really important to have these really super tall ceilings and then tons of light. That was like my number one requirement, which is why we have these huge garage doors and then windows all the way around.
The garage door is such a cool feature. That just opens right the way up, does it?
It does, yep, it opens up. So this is like the living room, kind of becomes extra big with the porch.
And when it comes to the size, you mentioned this is 10 feet, and I'm so used to seeing spaces that are only 8 feet wide, but you really feel the difference with that extra 2 feet, don't you? And just the way that it completely opens up the space and gives you so many more layout options.
Absolutely, yeah. When I was working with the designer on this house, he actually said, he goes, you should go for the extra 2 feet, especially if it's on a foundation. make sure you do it. It's going to make a huge difference. And yeah, I really love it.
And the coffee table there looks like it's got a story to tell.
It does. So this was custom made, and it's really cool because this kind of hides away the computers and TV.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah. So my computer hooks up to this, TV's there.
What a clever design. And then this is storage in here, is it?
It's storage. I don't know if I want to show you. It's so messy. I can show you, but kind of messy right now.
What? There's like nothing in there. That's not messy.
This is the clean side.
Uh-huh.
The messy side. Okay, you ready for this one? Okay, I'm embarrassed about this. Anyway, but yeah, there's like my messy side.
That's fantastic though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a good idea just to have a place like that you can put things out of the way, especially all of your electronics, because electronic stuff can clutter up a space so fast.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I think a lot of people that go tiny, they're very smart about their space. So their couch would have storage underneath it, and I just don't have that. I wanted a really nice big couch, and I didn't want it to feel like everything had, you know, a couple different purposes.
Sure.
So this is where I have my storage instead. One of the places.
Great idea. And then your kitchen, you said it was big, but this is huge.
It is huge, right? It's
Yeah.
bigger than my kitchen in New York.
I'm not surprised. Loads of prep space in here.
Tons. Yeah, when I was first designing the house, I just figured, you know, I really spend so much time in the kitchen, like eating or making food or whatever it is. I just want a nice, like, comfortable kitchen.
And certainly when it comes to the appliances, it doesn't look like you're wanting for anything.
So that was the other thing. And in terms of like going tiny, I didn't have any small things. So I have a normal size stove, normal size fridge, dishwasher, everything's normal size, which is really unusual for a tiny house.
And then you've even got a washer dryer unit there as well.
Oh, yeah, a normal size washer dryer.
And then this looks like it's got a story to tell. What's that doing?
Okay, so this is interesting. So this was obviously custom made, but what this does is you crank it and it lowers and raises the pot rack.
Oh no, that's a cool idea. Can we see it in action?
Yeah, okay. And then lowers all the way down. So I can reach it.
I love it. It's a super novel idea, but probably kind of a pain in the butt every day to use.
I would say that's true. Yeah, I usually keep the pots that I want like down there. And then these are just these are for show.
Yeah, but especially with all of the height here, it really is nice to have found at least some way to actually utilize that space, because otherwise it would just be completely open and all just go to waste.
Well, it's basically storage on my ceiling.
And you do have a lot of cupboard space in this kitchen as well, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I have tons of space. I would say the one thing that I didn't maybe account for so much in my design is maybe like closet space. For example, like those over there, I have my clothes in there. I have some clothes in there.
You've got clothes in your kitchen drawers?
I do.
Wow. A 40 by 10 foot tiny house and you've got clothes in the kitchen drawers.
Yeah. Well, the kitchen is so huge, why not, right? Otherwise
Why
you're gonna
not?
be like, there's gonna be nothing in there.
If you've got extra space, use it. Why not?
Yeah.
And then behind that wall there, is that where you've got your bathroom?
That's my bathroom, yeah.
Cool, can we check it out?
Okay, so here's the bathroom.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Thank you.
I love the shower.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty big, I would say, for a tiny house.
Definitely.
Yeah. Kind of like the idea of this sort of spa-like bathroom,
Yeah.
which it doesn't quite look like, but it still has like the wood and like the sea green tile and the rocks and stuff.
I love it. Yeah, the river stone with the wood there, it just
Yeah.
definitely adds a very spa-like feeling, so I can see that.
That was the goal.
And then you've got a normal flushing toilet here as well. That's
Yes.
Bit of a luxury.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I also didn't want it like in normal tiny houses, you see them and you see like you're on the toilet like this and you're like, and the cabinet's right here and you like can barely go to the bathroom. I was like, I don't want that. I wanted to be able to like be comfortable.
I totally understand. But definitely the size of this bathroom, you can certainly do that. And with this house as well, I'm guessing you're all just connected to normal services. So obviously flushing toilet, you're connected to sewer, connected to mains power and water as well.
Yeah, it's just like a normal house.
Yeah.
So everything's totally easy.
And then what do you have upstairs?
So this is my loft.
This is lovely.
You like it?
What a cozy space.
Yeah. This is the one part I sort of was lacking on, I feel like. Because it's on a foundation, I could have actually built the ceiling taller to like actually be able to walk up and stand up here.
So why didn't you do that?
It happened so quickly that we had to get the plans into the city. So by the time we had submitted the plans, it was already done. We had to just go with it.
I think had you have raised this up as well, it would have looked very disproportionate, wouldn't it?
Yeah, from the outside.
From the outside.
Yeah, it wouldn't have looked as nice from the outside, for sure.
But so, given the chance now, would you change this?
It's really hard to say because I love the outside of it. So I think I would have made this all the way out. So right now you see there's a chunk of the floor missing.
Right.
I would have pushed that all the way back.
Well, your house is absolutely beautiful, and I am really, really keen to see what you've done next door with the trailer.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
Let's check that out.
I'll show you that. So this here is the amp.
I absolutely love this. There's no hiding what this building is all about, is there?
No, although I think if you're not a musician, you're like, what is this thing? But musicians get it. They're like, whoa, it's an amp, you know?
Does this actually work?
So it does. So these are marine speakers, which means that they can get wet. And so the sound comes out of those 4 speakers.
That's so cool. So you can actually pull this up somewhere, lift the garage door, play the violin, and put on a real concert here, can't you?
Hell yeah!
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Well, let's check out the inside, see what's going on in there. Now this is different. What's all this about?
Yeah. So this is my dog area. I train my dog out here. We do agility, do tricks, yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Very cool. Definitely a great space for him out here.
Yep.
This is crazy. I absolutely love it.
Cool, thanks. In here, if you look really closely, this is recycled denim in there, so it's soundproof. And then I still have the garage door, so when I want, I can just open that up and have more light. Tons of storage, closet space here and here. All my instruments, yeah.
Super cool. So tell me a bit more about your life as a musician, and then also these incredible instruments around me.
So I was trained classically, and then I got into rock and roll, God, maybe 18 years ago or something. I have a lot of electric violins in here. This is a 5-string violin. It's electric and acoustic. This one I had like kind of a bunch of my violin idols sign the back of this one.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
And then you've got some of your albums on the wall here as well. I was just reading, this one sold more than 2 million copies.
So this is the group that I play with during Christmas time, Trans Siberian Orchestra. So yeah, they gave us these.
2 million copies though, that's incredible. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow, what an accomplishment.
It's a fun group to play with, yeah.
So what does your group think of what you've done here with the tiny house?
I think they like it, yeah. I've gotten really good feedback. Musicians really like the amp space in the music room.
How long have you actually been living in the house now?
So I built the house end of 2016.
And how are you adjusting to tiny house living?
I love it. There's really not much I would do differently if I had to do it all over again. I love the L shape. I love having 2 separate sort of rooms, and especially if I have anyone over, this other room sort of gives you space. So if my mom's visiting, for example, she can be in there, I can be in here practicing, and I'm not disturbing her, or if she wants to get away, make phone calls, she can be in here, I can be in there cooking. So it really gives it like a whole other room, which is not usual in a tiny house.
Now you've done a lot of really unique things here with this home, and obviously a lot of very high-spec elements in the house. Do you have any idea what this project cost to complete?
Yeah, it was more expensive than I think most. We used a lot of really, really nice materials, so I think it ended up being about $90,000.
That's a phenomenal result for this level of finish, I think.
I really wanted this to be my sort of, I don't know if it's my forever home or not, but I wanted this to be the home that I really spend a lot of time in and that I can kind of grow into also. So for me, it was worth spending that money because I'm not going to be just, getting rid of it anytime soon. One of the things that's changed since I started living in the tiny house is I don't have stuff spread across the country. I don't have stuff in storage anymore. Building this house and having this tiny house of my own really has given me a lot of stability, which I don't feel like I've had a lot of in my life being a musician. So I have a place to come home to. I have pretty much everything I need and want here. And I love coming home. Every time I walk in the door, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I live here. This is the most perfect house for me. And I don't know that I would recommend it to everyone because everyone's lifestyle is so different. For my lifestyle, it is the perfect way of living.
Well, I absolutely love the style of this home. I think you've done such a great job with the house, and having this studio just tacked onto it like this completely makes it perfect for you. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful home with me.
I'm so glad you guys came. Thank you.
Thank you. With this setup, Asha really has created an incredible home for herself. From the moment you step inside, it's open, it's light, it's spacious, it's beautiful, it's modern, it's sleek. And then couple that home with this tiny house on wheels that's actually a movable music studio, and you can see how this really is the absolute perfect setup for a musician.